Welcome to the Centre Court Masters Festival with Poets and Quants. My name is Matt Symonds, and with my co-host John Byrne, over the next 2 days, we'll be sitting down with associate deans, admissions officers, students, and alumni from a wonderful array of business masters programs: management, finance, business analytics, AI. So graduate management education is so much more than the MBA. And to get us started, it's my pleasure to welcome Norma Montague. Norma is a Senior Associate Dean of Academic Programs at the Wake Forest Business School. Norma, lovely to have you with us at Centre Court. Wake Forest, of course, an institution you know very well, both from the front of the classroom as a professor and now responsible for all those academic programs. Tell us a little bit about the school, and then we'll get into more detail about the Masters in Management.
Sure. So Wake Forest University is located in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And in the business school, we have a variety of programs. We have an undergraduate business program. Then we have our suite of pre-experience specialized master's programs. Those include a master's in management, a Master of Science in Management, a Master of Science in Accountancy, and a Master of Science in Business Analytics. And then we have our working professional programs, which is our MBA. We have two evening varieties of that. So we have one location here in Winston-Salem. We also have an evening program in Charlotte. We also offer a hybrid format in Charlotte where students come. About 60% of classes are in person in Charlotte and 40% are online. And then, of course, we have our online MBA program.
Well, we talked about there being a great choice and a wonderful school. Why is it that you think the MBA, of course, still in demand, but the broader Masters in Science in Management, why are these degrees proving to be such a popular choice for aspiring business students?
Yes. So the specialized programs are appealing because of the specialized focus, which can provide students with more in-depth knowledge and skills in a particular area. They're attractive to students as well because they tend to be shorter and provide a direct path to either starting a career or advancing the career. With the specialized master's programs, they also tend to cater to individuals from a variety of backgrounds. So here at Wake Forest, for our MSM program in particular, we attract non-business undergraduates.
Right. And that early career stage, as you say, that there are maybe some that have done a BBA, but many non-business graduates. To be able to take that choice early in the career, is that already to sort of find a pathway and explore different options as they embark on the next steps of their personal and professional development?
Yes. So at Wake Forest University, we're known for our liberal arts foundation. And so we have many graduates from undergraduate programs that major in a variety of humanities, social sciences, and are looking to bolt on some business skills. So that's one of the things that we really take pride in here at Wake in our MSM program, is that when students come to our program, whether they're from Wake Forest or other universities, in fact, we typically attract students from over 40 different universities as well. When we welcome them here, it's not just welcome to the School of Business and forget about your previous studies, right? We welcome the students and those variety of backgrounds into the MSM experience. So rather than saying, check those skills at the door, you're now going to learn business skills. We say, bring your whole self to this experience, and we're going to now bolt on these business skills so you can leverage the critical thinking skills you've already acquired, the analytical skills, and those liberal arts foundational skills.
Right. With a 10-month MSM, which is STEM designated, OPTs
Yes.
certified, so then the ability to stay and pursue the next steps. It could also be the first step for someone that is thinking about an MBA, because I think you can follow the MSM and then in the next 5 years, return to the school to complete your MBA?
Yes, so we refer to that as our MBA advantage. So MSM graduates, and really from any of our specialized master's program, can come back. They typically come back around 5 years later and they can pursue the MBA, receiving credit for some of the courses that they've already taken in the specialized masters. So most students can complete it over 12 months.
Right. The idea of studying business, perhaps some applicants are saying, well, I did something completely different for undergrad, and they don't identify themselves in an MSM classroom. So in terms of who it's identified for, do they need to be really strong in quant or simply comfortable with numbers? What are some of the characteristics and qualities that you like to see in candidates?
Yes, so well-rounded individuals. And as I said previously, we do attract students from a variety of majors, and they each bring their own skills and strengths. Now, one of the key foundational aspects of the program, at least our MSM, is that it is a team-based experience. So what we like to do is to put students together, put learners together who have different skills and backgrounds so that they can learn from one another. Sometimes students are a little bit apprehensive about the quantitative nature of business. And particularly in the summer, when they first start off, they're going to take a business analytics course and shortly thereafter engage with accounting and finance. And that can be a little bit daunting. But when we schedule the courses, we try to have a mix of both the quantitative and the more qualitative courses so that students can recognize immediately that it's not one or the other. It's really leveraging those skill sets in ways that are going to help them solve problems.
Right. And with the very strong corporate connections that you have, is that also then the
Mm.
opportunity to find out more about different professional contexts and environments?
Yes, so we're really strong in our experiential learning. From the very beginning of our program, we kick off the program with a unique course called Problem Solving Mindset. And that gives students an opportunities to start thinking about how to frame problems, how to identify the stakeholders, how to start thinking about how to answer questions. So that's in the very first semester, the summer semester. Well, alongside that problem solving mindset course, we also offer the business analytics one and business communication. And so those courses are tightly integrated with one another and situated within a graduate consulting project. So from the very beginning, we introduce students to a company, a sponsoring client, where they have to grapple with problems very early. But like you said, tying it back to, it provides students with an opportunity to start thinking about what different career areas they're interested in.
Right. And as you said, a comfort level with numbers, they'll be looking at balance sheets, but equally communication and sometimes the language of business. Is that something you're very mindful for, as you think about a 10-month curriculum and everything that you'd like to fit in? How have you designed the program to take them through each step of development and experience?
Yeah, so in the summer, like I said, we want to start with those foundational courses, introducing them to what is a business problem, what are the different areas of business that they might engage in. And then we move them to that language of business in the fall semester, where they take financial accounting and finance, managerial accounting. That's where they start to really pick up the business fluency. And
Right.
at the same time, they're going to take courses in marketing, the areas where our students tend to get jobs in, and then they're introduced to leadership and organizational skills there. And then as they then transition to the spring semester, they continue to then apply what they're learning with operations and strategy, complementing those studies with economics, business law, and some other courses. So
Right,
we
very
start
good.
we
They
start
cover
with
a lot.
establishing that problem-solving mindset, giving them the fluency and the different disciplines, and then having them continue to apply.
Right. When applying to the program and finding out more about the candidate, um, perhaps they'll feel this pressure to tell you and your colleagues in admissions, that this is the career that I want, or the job title 2, 3 years from now. Is that something that you'd like to know, or are you mindful of how much they're going to explore during the year with you?
We get students who come in saying, I know exactly what I want to do, because they have a mentor or a role model, somebody that they, aspire to pursue a similar career. And then we have others that just come in and they're not sure really what they want to do. And so we cater to both. If we can work with a student and they've already identified a specific career path, then we're going to go ahead and activate that job search, connect them with career coaches who are well acquainted with contacts in those areas, and they'll have a direct launch into that career search. For others, they're coming in, really interested in exploration. So in the summer, we offer a career management course. And in that course, students take self-assessments, they go to different career panels so they can start to learn about the different options. But it's not uncommon to see a student say, okay, I really like this. I think I want to pursue HR. And then they move to the fall semester and say, well, you know what? I really liked marketing. Maybe I want to do marketing. And then they get to the spring semester and they get excited about operations. So we're here to support the student no matter what their career interest is. That path just might look a little bit different.
And as we look at the class of 2024, or the recent years of graduates, what type of jobs and industries are your students then working in as they complete the MSM?
Yeah, so they go into a variety of roles in industry. That's the beautiful part about the MSM, that it really prepares you for such a diverse um, options. So
Mm.
we have students that go into HR, they go into marketing roles, consulting roles, leadership development programs. Some go into finance. So really a variety of roles and industries.
Do you get feedback from employers and say, this is what we really love about Wake Forest graduates? There's a curiosity, this wonderful enthusiasm. They've got some core, analytical skills. What sort of feedback do you get?
All of that, all of
Yeah.
that. So the tenacity. So we get feedback that our graduates are well prepared, they are hardworking, they have grit, they hustle, they're resourceful.
Mm.
So recently, I had some focus groups with consulting firms and asked for that feedback. And they said, the Wake Forest MSM graduates really come in with a solid foundation of business skills, but what differentiates them is that hustle, the resourcefulness, the desire to really immerse themselves in the work.
Right. Do you think, and as we think about the MSM within other options that Wake Forest has, the MBA typically you might do in your late 20s versus, soon after college. Does that make a difference to the employers to then be able to hire this young, determined talent at that earlier stage and really themselves accompany them in the next steps of their development?
Yeah, so our employers give us feedback that they do like that young talent because they come in eager to learn, eager to pave that career path, and they the feedback's very positive.
Yeah. Is it something that you see because on paper, you look at the candidate and then they show up in the summer and then you watch them through the next 10 months. Is it tangible to you how each individual has really matured and the confidence that they've developed?
Absolutely. And before I was in this role as Senior Associate Dean of Programs, I was the Associate Dean of the MSM program. And I would tell the students they're unrecognizable, even from the beginning of the summer to the end of 5 weeks. Their vocabulary changes, the way they hold themselves, the confidence that I see in them. It's really the 10 months are transformational, but I
Mm.
do see it even in a short 5 week
Yeah.
semester.
Yeah, because they're getting, some very tangible financial skills, marketing strategy and using data.
Yeah.
Do you see those more intangible skills? I mentioned self-confidence, something that you witness even in the first 5 weeks. Are there certain things that perhaps we don't often capture in terms of how they're transforming through the course of the year?
their communication skills are much stronger. So that we see that transformation again, even from the beginning of the summer as they work on their very first project and have to do a presentation at the end of the summer. Their executive presence is stronger. Even their networking skills are stronger in just 5 weeks. So those intangibles, they're very evident to me. I don't know that they see it in themselves, so I try to remind them. I often tell them to record themselves, or during orientation, I have them write a letter to themselves, and then you can see they might read those letters back at the end of the fall semester or at the end of the spring semester, and that's when it begins to click for them.
Right. Do you have other advice as you welcome them in those early weeks? Because of course, in addition to all the different classes and options that they have, clubs and activities, part of, the broader university, do they need to really prioritize time management?
Oh, absolutely. So in terms of advice, I tell the students to try to take advantage of as many opportunities that they can, both in the classroom and outside of the classroom. The 10 months goes by so quickly, and sometimes they come in and they focus only on the coursework and the grades, and they lose sight of all of the other opportunities that we have designed to make this a holistic experience for them. So whether it's going to a career panel and learning about a particular career or industry, or a social, or a mental health and well-being session, those things are all important for the students. And so I do encourage them to take advantage of as many opportunities that they can. I also remind them that they're building their professional network here. I mean, they are surrounded with other learners like them who are motivated, who are going to go to a variety of industries and roles. And those are the people who they're going to call when they're looking for a job change or a career transition. And those are the people who will continue to support them throughout their careers.
Right, you were describing how they develop those networking
Yeah.
skills. Is that also that there's an understandable focus on the first job that they'll get after graduation, but also the reminder, well, that might be a stepping stone to longer term career goals that they have, and how you're also preparing them for that?
That's right. That's right. So we're preparing them to be lifelong learners, and we're preparing them for their lifelong professional career. And it's why, going back to that MBA Advantage program that we have, we do want to create opportunities for them to continue their study. One thing that we are adding now to the MSM program is an optional consulting concentration at the end of the 10 months. So students who come in, they start in July, they graduate in May. So if they're interested, they can come back for the fall semester and take a 9 credit hour concentration. And I'm looking down at my paper because it's hot off the presses. It's going to be a business consulting with AI enhanced analytics.
Right.
So again, taking what they learned in those foundational business courses and then elevating it with an extra semester in AI.
I was going to ask you, AI, I think when we started Center Court with John 7, 8 years ago, I'm not sure it came up as a discussion point, and now it seems like it's everywhere. Is that just one of the reflections of how the MSM continues to evolve to reflect, skill sets and perhaps even the future of work?
Yes, so we're constantly, continuously evolving the curriculum. And we do that through our connection with the market. We have an MSM Market Insights Board where we have representatives from different companies. Some are alums, some are employers, but they have a stake, they have an interest in the MSM program. And we meet with them a couple of times a year. We want to stay connected and make sure that we are delivering on the skills and abilities that the employers are looking for.
Right. And then we'd mentioned being STEM designated OPT, which would give up to 3 years beyond the studies, to
That's right.
pursue a professional career in the US. We have so many international viewers for the Center Court Festival. So just give us a sense of Winston-Salem, life in North Carolina, and just the options that they'll explore both locally, regionally, and perhaps a career that's going to take them to other parts of the country.
Sure. So I think that Winston-Salem is a fantastic place to live. So I've been here almost 15 years, and it's a great place to explore so many different things. We're here almost centrally located in the foothills of North Carolina. So there's hiking, there's a heavy influence of the arts. So there's a lot of different opportunities to explore interest in theater and different arts. We're also just about 35 minutes from Greensboro, which is a larger city with, again, more opportunities and concerts. There's an international airport in Greensboro. We're about 75 miles from Charlotte, where a lot of our students pursue their first job in Charlotte. That's a big city. It's got pro football and just a little, stay on I-40, keep going, and you'll get to the mountains in no time.
Right.
So
Spectacular location.
we're positioned about 1 to 2 hours from the mountains, depending on where you want to go, and about 4 hours from the beach.
Lots of good options there. You
Yes.
talked earlier about it being a transformational year, and often like a butterfly, we don't realize that until we emerge the other side. If I was to sit down with 2 or 3 of the MSM graduates and say, so, what really stood out for you, or, were sort of a memorable moment, what sort of things do you think they would share?
I think they would probably point to the graduate consulting projects. So as I mentioned previously, we introduce students to a project in the summer that's very tightly integrated with their summer courses so that they can begin to see from the very beginning how their coursework ties to business. Because with the MSM program, a lot of students come straight from undergrad, and it's
Mm.
a challenge to help them shift their mindset from an extra year of undergrad. So sometimes they come in and say, okay, I'm just going to take one more year.
Right.
So we try to, from the very beginning, recast their mental model, recast the framing that this is not the 5th year of your undergrad. This is the first year of your professional career. So I'd love to tell you a little bit about the project that we did this
Great.
past year with the summer, because it's really made possible through partnerships with different organizations. So this year, the students, again, were taking problem solving mindset, business communication, and business analytics 1. And we had the Wake Forest Retail Learning Lab that educates students on the retail industry. So they were giving a business problem to solve in the retail industry. And then Lowe's Foods, a local grocery store here in North Carolina, they provided grocery sales data also through the Wake Forest School of Business Retail Learning Lab. So now they have some real data that they're going to play
Mm.
with. And then the Hershey company, the Hershey's chocolates,
Sure.
they partnered with us and they engaged with students to help them understand how they see their brand and to help them understand what the objectives of a consumer products goods company does. And then we had In Context Solutions, another partner that's a market research company that worked with the students and provided access to their proprietary software that allows them to test hypotheses. And finally, we partnered with Smurfit Westrock, who developed a virtual tour of Lowe's Foods, enabling them to kind of walk through that customer journey
Mm.
virtually. And so I don't the exact business problem, I don't have it here in front of me, but it was a product placement issue. And through that virtual experience, students were actually able to leverage virtual reality technology to recreate the aisles and play with product placement and then
Right.
do some analysis on which would be the more effective
Right.
planogram.
It's a great illustration of what you were saying of this adjustment. It's not one more year of college, that
Right,
level of
right.
experiential learning and playing with real data and therefore the
Yes.
possible outcomes that will. Do you think, I mean, anyone that's then going to pursue the MSM at Wake Forest, they are making that commitment of the year,
Mhm.
and obviously with tuition. Um, is that where they really then find the difference, both in themselves, the skill sets that they're developing, and how that will be appreciated by a future employer, whether it's Hershey or one of the others, to say, now they've got this mindset, and that's what's going to provide such a good basis for the next steps of their career.
Yes. So I do believe that it's a wonderful return on investment to pursue the MSM. And students do see the value in it. So going back to your original question, what would a student say was
Right.
the most memorable or what they really enjoyed? It really goes back to the experiential learning, the immersive experience that they have so that they feel like when they get their first job, they can hit the ground running. They've done the work. We've brought that professional experience to them in that year in that short 10 months. So in addition to that consulting project that they do in the summer, then they do one in the fall. And the entire cohort works on the same problem, but they do so in their individual teams. So now they have an opportunity to work for 4 months with a client and take a deeper dive into a business problem. Then in the spring, we source different projects for every single team. So that's where they have an opportunity. If they're interested in healthcare management, they can take a work with a healthcare project, or if they're marketing management, they would select a marketing um, project. So again, giving them the opportunity to specialize, going back to why these specialized programs are so valuable
Mm.
for learners. It's that opportunity to continue with each semester to take a deeper dive and get a more specialized learning opportunity for them.
All of this done with a focus on working in teams that must serve them very well.
That's right, all with a focus on teams. And when they're all together working on the same problem in the fall semester, you see the different team dynamics developing across. And sometimes I have a team of students who come see me and they say, "Oh my gosh, Dr. Montague, we need some help here. We're really struggling with this team member. We're having a problem with this team member, and it's just not fair." And I tell them, what a gift. What a gift. Because there's so many skills that you can learn when you have to navigate conflict and reconcile, think about how to leverage these differences rather
Mm.
than looking at this struggle as an impediment. You can think
Mm.
of really think about what is leading to these dysfunctional behaviors and how can we get past that and get to the point where we're a high functioning team.
Yeah.
And so it's really, I tell them it's a gift. You're not going to learn those skills if your team gets along so great. And that's not always going to be the case when you go out into the business world. You're going to have to learn to work with different people who have different personalities, backgrounds, perspectives. And that's really important to learn how to leverage those, how to appreciate those differences, how to celebrate those differences, and utilize them to solve problems in more productive ways.
Yeah, yeah, and learning in a safe space, that you can make those mistakes, but then you'll be able to apply the
Absolutely.
learning to a future situation. So, with viewers from all over the world, um, they want to find out more about the MSM program.
Okay.
Um, how should they get in touch with your team, perhaps with alums of the school? What would you recommend?
So I think the first place to explore a little bit more would be to go to our website, and that is go.wfu.edu/MSM. And of course, they can reach out to me. My email is montagnr@wfu.edu. We have admissions counselors who are available. And another way to connect, like I mentioned, is via our Market Insights board. And we have an associate dean of the program who can also help make some connections.
Great. Well, the fact that they were also able to find out more of the program with you as we start the Centre Court Masters Festival was a real treat. I can understand the enthusiasm that you have for Wake Forest over the last 15 years, and it must be wonderful to see this young talent coming through the program. So Dr. Montague, Norma, thank you for being with us and for sharing your perspectives on the MSM.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. I enjoyed it. Thank you.